Isabella Bennett, Izzy to friends, to enemies, to anyone who had ever heard her laugh, had learned to savor small rebellions. After a first year spent drowning in law books and the dry ink of precedent, literature felt like stolen honey, forbidden and sweet. Her mother, ever practical, had frowned over the curriculum. Stories? She'd said, waving a hand as if to banish the idea. Fine, but get your law degree first. Poets don't pay rent. So Izzy walked the tightrope between duty and desire, double espresso in hand, arriving early to her first literature lecture of the year. The morality of the modern hero. Professor Batra was rumored to be sharp as a scalpel, and today's text was Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray. Not Austen, but close enough to stir the soul. At the front of the lecture theater, Izzy chatted with Alex, a TA she'd met in a first-year elective. Kind, awkward, the sort who remembered everyone's name. The doors opened. A hush rippled through the room. A silhouette, tall and self-assured, entered with the easy grace of someone accustomed to attention but indifferent to it. Crisp jawline, a quiet confidence that seemed to say, "I have seen the world, and it has not surprised me yet." Izzy stopped mid-sentence. Their eyes met. Just for a breath. Just long enough for her to catch the flicker of curiosity in his gaze before he looked away. Alex followed her gaze and chuckled. "That's Matthew Darcy, transferred from Oxford this term." Before Izzy could ask more, Professor Batra swept in and called the class to order. Izzy found her seat beside Lacey Lucas, her best friend since freshman orientation, her fellow conspirator in mischief and mirth. Lacey leaned over. "If I could bottle that Oxford stare and sell it, I'd never work a day again." Izzy snorted. "Is that the one everyone's whispering about?" "Mm-hmm. Finance air. Brilliant. Cold. Apparently raised by wolves." Izzy raised a brow but said nothing. Her attention kept drifting to the man a few rows ahead, flipping casually through his copy of Wilde as if the words were old friends. The lecture began. Professor Batra was sharp and electric, tossing questions into the air like sparks seeking kindling. "So let's consider Dorian," she said. "Is his downfall entirely of his own making, or is he a product of the people and culture around him?" Izzy's hand shot up. "I think Wilde's showing us how vulnerable people can be to outside influence. Dorian didn't fall apart on his own. He had someone whispering poison in his ear every day. That matters." "Interesting." Batra nodded, then glanced away, ready to move on. But then, a voice as smooth and direct as a blade sliced through the room. "Or it's a commentary on personal responsibility," Matthew Darcy said from the front. "Dorian may have been influenced, but he made deliberate choices. Blaming others makes him passive. Wilde's too sharp for that." Izzy blinked, then leaned forward, her pulse quickening. "But that assumes everyone starts with equal strength of character. Some people are more impressionable. That doesn't make them any less responsible, but it changes how we read their actions." Darcy turned slightly, just enough to catch her eye again. And this time, she saw the spark of challenge in his gaze. "So, we give them sympathy and excuse them?" "Not excuse. Contextualize. There's a difference. Depends on how many chances you think people deserve." Their exchange was quick, clipped like the clash of fencing foils. A few students turned in their seats to watch. Professor Batra raised both hands. All right. I love a debate, but we've got a syllabus to get through. Solid points, both of you. Let's move on." Izzy sat back, jaw tight, heart still hammering. She hated the way he spoke, as if everyone else was missing some obvious truth. She hated more that he was good at it. After class, she stormed down to the cafeteria with Lacey, still fuming. "Who talks like that?" she said, stabbing at her salad. "He speaks in absolutes, like he's never made a mistake in his life." Lacey grinned, unbothered. "You're mad because he was rude or because you met your match?" "I am not mad. I'm annoyed." "He is hot, though." Izzy made a face. "I didn't say he wasn't good-looking. I said he's a jackass." She was about to go on when Lacey froze mid-bite and looked up. Izzy frowned. What? Lacey nodded behind her. Don't look now,